Hi, my name is Barry. I'm a New York State licensed psychotherapist. And I realized many years ago that my main purpose in life is to find a way to assist people to live in love and joy. Hello.
Hello.
It is with great joy that once again we have a chance to attempt to speak with you. We tried before, but it didn't work. He interrupted us. So we will try again. This is unexpected, but we are greatly pleased. What we see is that, as was so well discussed by this one, you have a vast desire for love and connection that you have not succeeded in this life. And you carry a great degree of pain because of that. What happens is you carry fear of truly opening yourself up and allowing that love to take possession of you. You are familiar with it, you know the beauty and the joy of it, but you also hold yourself back from living it. And because of that, many individuals who would love to be intimate in any variety of ways are simply not drawn to doing so. And you find that you escape into thoughts and analytical behaviors because living in your heart, living in your gut, living in feelings and love is just too painful. We see that this fear comes from two different sources. One, from childhood. It was a learned experience, perhaps because of the culture in which you grew up, that one could not really be vulnerable in life. There's too many dangers out there. One had to be strong. One had to hold yourself together at all costs in order to survive. That's the psychological. But much more important is the past life component, where you have two lives directly relevant to this one. One of them is when you were the proverbial potentate or king. It was actually for a rather small tribal kingdom in mid-Africa. But within that realm, you were the universe, the god. And the other one was as a court princess in what is now Thailand, but in its day was in the court of the Khmer people, what is currently called the Cambodians. In both of these lives, there was a sense that you didn't have to do anything. Because of your position in life, love, adoration, adulation was a natural consequence. And you would bask in it, in both of these. And you were born in this life, and guess what? You're not a prince or a princess. It doesn't come naturally. And you struggle because there is part of you that just expects it. And yet, subconsciously, you have fear because you don't know how to go about bringing it into your life. You don't know how to allow it. And that causes you great pain and sorrow. Do you have a question on this?
What process or actions?
Yes. While normally we would direct you to finding out where it is. We will tell you that, a quick question, you are familiar with the chakra system?
Yes.
Intimately, we believe.
Yes.
For those who are not, it's the energy structures within the body. It's a shorthand term taken from the Indian subcontinent, or it has psychological, health, and metaphysical correlates. In your system, it is stored in the second chakra in 2 places. In the bottom of the second chakra, where it impinges upon the first. For those who are unfamiliar, the second chakra is sexuality, creativity. The first is the essence of the self. The third, which is about to be mentioned, has to do with the interactional dynamics and dealings between the self and the world. To get back to yourself, there is part in the bottom that impinges on the first. It is really an inability to get into your first chakra, to deal with the love that is there, to know how to open it, to let it out. It scares you. It makes you feel vulnerable. It makes you want to pull away. You were taught in this life that it's a dangerous place to be. There are consequences. So you don't. You have to unlearn this. You allow your persona, and in some cases your ego, to be your guide to life and living. And there is an end result of a great degree of wanting, loneliness, emptiness. You don't know how to find fulfillment in life. And yet, you're scared of the very thing that would enable you to have that fulfillment, which is to allow that which is within to be also that which is made manifest without. Now that would necessitate a dramatic shift in the way you conduct your life and your interactional dynamics. But isn't it worth it? What else would you like to know, sir?
How would everything that you just said would be, let's say, translated to more scientific or practical ways, so one can actually tackle it?
Easy.
Okay.
You're a paradox, sir, because you are well skilled in meditation. And you engage in it to a considerable extent, but you have no idea how to use it, and you don't. You meditate well and profoundly, but you do not use it for your growth. What is optimal for you is, while you are meditating, to be able to direct yourself first down into the first chakra, the root chakra, and to begin to open it up. There is cascading elements of love, divine energy, and really a lot of good stuff. But even sitting alone, you haven't done it. And somehow there is a fear that if you do this, you won't be prepared in case something happens in life. You'll be in a place of bliss, but not readiness. Your mind always feels it has to be sharp, it has to be prepared. And you don't give yourself permission to travel to the places within that you have the absolute capability of doing. And more than just connecting into your own personal first chakra, is the bottom of it connects directly with earth energies and the energies of the planet in which you're living. And these are vast and powerful. And when you live your life, you live above these energies. You don't connect with them. You don't know how to connect, that's not correct. You know how, but you don't connect with them. And you most certainly don't use them. If you draw this energy consciously into your first chakra, and then you bring it up into your second, you will find that this fear of yourself, this fear of life, will begin to erode. And you can do it all in the meditative acts that you do so regularly. Now, the other way, and this is the part of the second chakra that impinges on the third chakra, is to go into that area of interactional dynamics, which is the third chakra. And the correlate that is in the second chakra, which is intimacy. For maleness, intimacy, creativity, sexuality, these are all things that you cut yourself off from in your expressions in the world. You reserve it for very, very special circumstances. They're so special that it just doesn't satisfy. And then even when you do divine it to be the right circumstance, you don't open yourself up enough. And then you cut yourself off. Sometimes out of fear, sometimes out of a sense of, oh, I'm exposing too much, I'm being too vulnerable. And sometimes you just make up and you project upon the other person things that are your own fears and nightmares. And you end the relationship. That does not need to be ended. We will pause for a moment. If it is acceptable, we will continue briefly while the other gentleman is here. To continue, if in your meditation you go into the third chakra and you feel how you restrict yourself from being open in the world, how you hold back love, you almost quarantine it and ration it as if it was a limited quantity, and you're afraid to show how much you actually carry within, which you unfortunately even hide from yourself. When you allow this openness to come through you, you will find that people will willingly and openly respond to you. And you will know that sense of intimacy and love that you so greatly desire. We will take one more question. We understand the other gentleman who has recently entered also needs our attention. So while we would certainly be willing to continue this another time with you, we will only take one more question today. Make it a good one. Now that one. Yes, the one that scares you.
How do I not project?
That's not the question. The one that scares you. The one you would really rather not know the answer to. That's the question.
So if you know the question, why don't you just, if you kind.
Of course. One moment while we get it from you. How do I learn to live being vulnerable and in love without fear? The answer is first to become familiar with who you are and what you carry. You are so scared that you're not even willing to allow yourself to know who you are. And that has to come first. Know thyself. Once you are able to accept that when you're alone, sitting quietly in meditation, you can open up the doorways to love and joy. You can allow intuition to flow. You can welcome love and opportunity into your life. You can be vulnerable with others. Once you know what it's like within yourself, when you're sitting quietly, all nice and protected, once you know that, you can start taking steps and bringing that into the world. And there are two ways of doing this. You can either start with the safe way of those who you know are open and warm and who are not going to hurt and abuse you, and take small steps. Or you can take the heroic way of plunging right into the unknown and use your intuition in areas that say, this is a possibility, but I don't know them, they don't know me. And expose yourself. In the proverbial warrior's thing, open your jacket, expose your chest, and say, here I am. I'm vulnerable. Do what you will with me. And you will find that the vast majority of time, it will be kindness and love that will come back. And sometimes you will get hurt. And then you go back into your little safe place and you meditate and you release it. And you go back into the world and you try it again. We are not saying that one path is better than the other. You may take the safe path or the heroic path. The only difference is in the safe path will take much longer. We thank you.
Thank you.